Hello, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. I have another another popular term for you today. This one is called rejection sensitive dysphoria. Let's talk about this term, RSD. According to William Dodson, an MD, it is an intense correlation to the perception, not necessarily the reality, of being rejected, teased, or criticized by important people in your life. The result is immense emotional pain from perceived failure to meet one's own or others' expectations. Did you know that the DSM criteria for ADHD was updated, quote unquote, in 1994 with the DSM-4 to include the ability to diagnose adults and not just children? However, the language used to describe the symptomology wasn't really updated, and it doesn't accurately represent the adult experience of ADHD. It seems natural to me that the childhood expression of a disorder is going to be very different in many ways than the adult expression of even the same disorder in the same person, because people change throughout their lives. Keep in mind that all of the DSM is written from the outside perspective, so you're seeing observations of what symptoms look like with each disorder listed. They're not written from the perspective of someone who is experiencing the symptom itself. There is a qualitative study on the symptomology of ADHD in young adults called Dysregulated, not Deficit, where most participants reported that the diagnostic criteria did not accurately capture their experiences with ADHD. They reported struggling with attention, dysregulation, including hyperfocusing, and emotional dysregulation, including rejection sensitive dysphoria. It was noteworthy that ADHD is not like a breakdown of a single area of the brain, but it's considered like an interference of the brain's internal communication system, which connects various controlling parts of the brain with emotion, attention, behavior. That's just ADHD. People with RSD, which is an estimated 99% of adolescents and adults with ADHD, exhibit greater sensitivity to most rejection, and one third consider this factor of ADHD the most difficult aspect of it. So sometimes I find it helpful to put a name to something. For me, realizing that ADHD had not just attention issues, but social and emotional symptoms too was huge. It's allowed me to more easily sit with this emotion, knowing that it's temporary and that I'm not alone, and that it's okay to feel big feelings because it's a part of me. Giving myself like grace to cry or have an afternoon where I just really don't feel like chatting is okay. Um, and it's not that it's all in my head, but also I know that I do tend to take things really pretty heavily, so I can prepare for that, knowing how it feels. For example, a while ago now, when I went for a promotion at work, I knew there was a chance that I wouldn't get the promotion, so it ate at me, that feeling, knowing that I could be rejected from this thing that I wanted so badly. And it was the reason I prepared so very well for the interview with lists of my experiences and like half a notebook full of writing about how those experiences connect with the values of the company. As I was preparing, I did my best to both ignore the gut feeling, telling me how terrible it would feel if I didn't get the promotion, but also like validating that feeling that like that's kind of a part that's kind of a part of this. Like you can't go for something without knowing that there's a chance that you could fail and be rejected. So trying to validate, like, that's a real possibility. Like, let's not get there yet, brain. We're not there yet. Let's try to breathe and get through the preparation portion of this, knowing that if if I do fail, it's going to feel really badly, but that's part of the risk. So when I didn't get the promotion, I was devastated. My heart like sank into my stomach, and my stomach turned, and I was just certain that they didn't like me. I didn't have what it took to make it to the next level. I was going to be stuck doing my same job forever. My head spun and my hands were clammy, and I just felt restless and awful. Um, and I'm sure being rejected for a promising job would cause anyone to be a bit upset. But for me, I had to almost physically push past the thoughts that I wasn't worth it and that I should just go ahead and quit my current position anyway and sulk in my obvious unworthiness, maybe forever. Um, Luckily, I know that feeling dissipates. It lasted a few days pretty intensely, faded to when I would just clock in, and then eventually kind of mostly went away and became fuel to look for other options outside of the company. And I knew it was out, like they didn't not like me. I had to have been one of the top I had to have been performing in the very top of the position I was currently in to even apply to the next level. So I knew that I was a good worker, and that's why they even were giving me the opportunity. So I had to have conversations with myself in my head about why these big feelings felt so intense. Yes, it's okay to feel that way, but also, here's the reality. Here are the facts. Let's take a deep breath and hope that the feeling goes away. And it usually does. Not easily, but it does. So, anyway, if I think about it too hard, it can all come like roaring back. So, that's when the mindfulness and the breathing and kind of the thought stopping comes in handy for myself. I'm still doing a lot of work. I'm not a perfect human and I do not have all the answers. I'm still working on myself daily. So, this is a part of it. Understanding myself, sharing my findings with others, I find helpful and beneficial. And the best way to make sure you know something is to teach it to other people. So, this is my attempt to practice teaching people things and sharing my knowledge. So, I appreciate you listening to all of my ramblings, and I hope you join me for another ramble at some point in the future. Okay, that's all I have for you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.